The Typhoon, the largest Soviet nuclear submarine ever built. For 2 decades, this deadly nuclear weapon stalked the seas. The Soviets called it Akula, the shark, and like its namesake, it's a deadly predator. The massive sub stretches 170 meters long, stands over 4 stories tall, and weighs over 23,500 tons. It's almost as large as a cruise liner. In its prime, this first strike war machine carried 20 nuclear missiles and housed 150 elite Soviet submariners. The Soviet Navy first deployed the Typhoon-class submarine during the Cold War in the 1980s. It was the largest submarine ever built. Only 6 of its kind were ever constructed. It was designed with World War III in mind, a mobile attack weapon armed with 20 intercontinental ballistic missiles, each carrying multiple nuclear warheads. From deep beneath the sea, the Typhoon could hit targets over 10,000 kilometers away. A single one of these 83-ton nuclear missiles could destroy a city the size of New York. Creating a submarine to accommodate these missiles and a crew of 150 meant designing a revolutionary hull structure. The Typhoon is the only submarine ever built with not 1 but 2 inner hulls. They run side by side within the 170-meter external hull, improving the Typhoon's survivability. Even if one hull is breached, the crew could evacuate to the other hull for safety. The Typhoon is essentially a floating nuclear power station, generating enough energy to power a small city. Its giant propellers are driven by some of the biggest nuclear reactors ever put on a submarine. A submarine's reactor is essentially a highly radioactive tea kettle. Metal tubes filled with uranium fuel tablets serve as heating elements. Water circulates around these radioactive fuel rods, cooling them and producing steam. The steam then powers the submarine's propulsion systems. The reactor is sealed to prevent any radiation from leaking out. For 2 decades, the Typhoon prowled the oceans of the world. The Soviet Navy's supreme underwater trump card in the Cold War. The Typhoon, the greatest submarine ever built.